Hey everybody, welcome. It's May 28th, 2025. Oh my gosh, it's almost June. We're almost halfway through the year. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, my name's Brooke. I've been a member of Alignable for many, many years, but over the past 5 years, I actually work for Alignable, and I've been traveling across the country in my motorhome and meeting people in person, and I get to teach people how to use Alignable all the time. And I'm so excited to be with my guest co-host, or actually he's the co-host of the show, Chuck Casto. I'll let you introduce yourself and maybe the other two amazing guests we have on here today. So go ahead, Chuck.
The
Take it
other
away.
two guests are just amazing. We've had so much fun in the lineup for this show. I can only imagine what's going to happen during this hour. But hi, everybody. I'm Chuck Casto. I'm head of PR and communications here, and also research and news and contests. You probably know me from the contest. I brought the contest to Alignable over 6 years ago, and it's been going strong. And anyone who's enjoyed it, I'm thrilled to hear that. And we're thrilled to hear that all the way through the year, even though the next contest probably won't be until January. But keep up that networking, folks, because that's why we do the contest the first couple months of the year, so that you keep that momentum going. So thank you for that. And Arba, why don't you introduce yourself?
Okay, so Sue, you're gonna let people in, right?
Yep, go, keep going, don't worry.
Okay, so my name is Arba Cooper. I'm in Buffalo, New York, a digital technologist. What that means is I love technology and I love helping people with technology, anything from websites, social media, email marketing, videos, and I think that's about it. Landing pages, whatever. All things
Cool.
technical.
Awesome. Char, how about you?
My name is Char Ross. I like to introduce myself by saying my first name is like Cher, but I don't sing. And then my last name is like Ross, but guess what? I still don't sing, right? I got hit twice with it, but all is well. So I have a lot of titles, which I won't use. I am a strategic brand manager. That's what I've been for the last 25 years. And I help people to either create, solidify, or maintain their brand identity. Secondly, I also have a second brand called Poof Printing. You think it, poof, we print it. And you guys will hear a little bit more about that. But the bottom line is I do two things really well. I'll do more than two, but I do two things really, really well. I design and I print.
Awesome. Excellent.
Wonderful.
So we've got these two on here because they are pretty much rock stars on Alignable. Plus, you are both ambassadors, so that's very exciting. What should we start with, Chuck? You know what? Let's start with this. How long have you been on Alignable? And yeah, just let's talk about how long you've been Alignable, and maybe do you have a big success story here so far that we could just start out just blazing? How about you, Arba?
Sure. I have been on Alignable since the end of 2022, and I was invited by someone from another networking group that had mentioned it. And I'm the type of person that I'm going to try out anything. I'm very optimistic. So I said, sure. This was back when they send you a link and I joined it, and technology, which is my middle name. I was like, oh, this is really, so I just started clicking around, trying to figure out stuff. And then after a while, I was like, this is worth it. Because it just really had a lot of the technology and the ability to connect, and was way better than a lot of other networking I've used. So it didn't take me long. It didn't take me anyone to tell me to upgrade, because I wanted more. So
Nice.
I upgraded very shortly after that. And it was funny that that first person to introduce me to it, she came up in my feed, and I was like, oh, let me catch up with her, since she was the one that introduced me to it. Do you want what'd you say? My next one was my big success, or you want to wait?
Yeah, let's go to Char next, and then we'll come back with our success stories. Okay, Char.
Okay, so I joined Alignable in 2017. I didn't even
Right.
know what it was. I was introduced by someone and I signed up and I never got on the platform.
Oh,
And
there's
then
nothing on there
in,
back then.
huh?
There wasn't anything on there back then. We didn't have groups or anything
Well,
back.
there
That's
was a little bit. I came in 2018. There was a little,
okay.
not a
Okay.
lot. Yeah.
So after I joined in 2017, didn't touch it. And then in 2020, of course, we were all locked in. And so we all got, technology curious. But I became active in 2022 and started getting on here on a regular basis. And then I had a little bit of a trauma later on in 2023. And that's the year that I met Arba. So I didn't realize I met her right as she got on the platform. I met many other people such as Steve Levinson and Birgit Cummings, and just really rocked it with those people for that year. And then in 2024, I found out about being an ambassador, and I was like, oh, that's something I want to do. So I reached out and became an ambassador in 2024. And then this year, I've also become a group leader.
What groups are you running? Yeah, I wanted to ask you what alliances are you running and what groups are you running? Char, what's the group that you have in the
So Arba and I am the, I guess, group leader, and I invited Arba to be my co-leader, and it's called Brand Strategies for Business Growth. And I have a passion, and I'm a brand strategist. I do this. I'm a brand strategist, like I have wings, right? And I have a passion for just branding. It just comes out of me. It's just everything that I do. So the group Brand Strategies for Business Growth, we put on a program called Business Smart Start Grow, and we help teach people about how to grow their business. And right now we're doing a series on AI and digital marketing. So that's what I do. And then I am a Coco ambassador, like that Coco, right? Ambassador of the Greater Atlanta Alliance with Jarvis Gray and Dina Patrice Burrows. I love it.
That's super.
What about you, Arba?
I have to remember the question.
Which alliance are you affiliated with?
First, honestly, my best success story was meeting Char. And
I agree.
I sincerely mean
She
that.
agrees.
No, I mean, Arba is my best success story at the end of the day. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
And that was because, like I said, I joined, well, a little bit of back history. I have been group leaders for years in different groups, organizations, or whatever. And at the time I joined Alignable, I was actually under contract still with a franchise that I owned, and it wasn't working out well. And so I had actually been approached to be an ambassador. And so, like I said, I'm the type of person, I'm like, hey, I'll do that. But then when they realized I was already like a group leader with this other group that I didn't like and was trying to get out of, I couldn't be an ambassador. So finally, when I was able to get out of that contract, and then I started pursuing being an ambassador. But what I learned is there's a lot of work. I know from being group leaders, there's a lot of work to really be a good group leader. And so I said, I do not want to do anything solo anymore. And some of you, especially, I think, Sue, on your mastermind, somebody asked me, why do I always say collaborate? Collaborate,
So it's the best thing.
It's the best. So my thing was collaborate. So I knew when I got on Alignable, I was not going to try to do solo. So the first thing I did was I waited for someone else to Buffalo, New York needed an alliance, a local alliance. So as soon as I saw someone who was interested in being the ambassador, I rallied right with her. I came to the meeting, and then I said to her, I said, hey, do you need a co-ambassador? Because I will be, you can be Batman, I'll be Robin. I'm like whatever. So I am the co-ambassador of the Buffalo Alliance, and shout out to Curly Carly. Anybody knows Curly? Yes, love her. And then Canva. I love training, love training. So I saw that there was a Canva group, And oh, I'm so bad with names. Who she's really good. She's an ambassador and everything, and she does the Smart Connects. She was doing the Smart Connects with Canva. And so then I inquired, I said, is anyone doing any training, for Canva? And that's when they said no. So I said, great, I'll love to do Canva training. So I became a group leader for Canva. And then I was asked to take over the video. There was like a huge, like 8,000 members for the video learners. And today, so I took that over. And so today I did my first Smart Connect. Oh, it was so much fun. So I'm still on a high from doing my first Smart Connect with the videos. I renamed it Video Creators and Learners. So anyone
Nice.
that wants that does videos or wants to learn how to do videos or needs videos, come to that group.
That is awesome. And I noticed you were so excited. You were singing it a
Was
little.
I?
I heard it
Was
too.
I on tune?
I heard it. I was like, wow, that was really great. Anyway, so what else is exciting about Alignable that you guys, just in this hour, you want to make sure that any newbies find out about?
Well,
What would you say,
I'll
Char?
take this one, and I'll say that collaboration. When I said, yeah, when I gave the thumbs up, Arba said that I was her biggest success story. That's because Arba is my biggest success story.
Wonderful.
I came to Alignable because I needed to hide from the world. I didn't like social media. I didn't want to be out there on Instagram or LinkedIn. Arba knows I still am not, right? Or Facebook. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna come on this platform here because nobody that I know is really on this platform. And so I came in here because I was trying to figure out who am I, and what do I do? And so what I love about Alignable is that it gave me a place in which to grow and to know who I am. And then it allowed me to meet people. I already mentioned Steve Levinson and Birgit and Paul Walker and Thomas Hill, right? So it allowed me to meet all of these people, right? And it didn't matter if they looked like me or didn't look like me. What happened was that we all had the same passion. We all were looking to build relationships and grow our business and to make inroads. And so now when I do the ambassadorship, right, and I do my in-person events, my regulars, and I say my regulars because they come, I have about 10 to 15, maybe 20 people that come make almost every single event. And I say, okay, let's tell all the newbies what this stands for. And I go, and they say, no, like, and trust. And so Alignable gave an opportunity to build real intimate relationships without worrying about selling. Once I moved beyond the point that I was trying to sell my services or my business and just moved into the place of building relationship, it was just like this Pandora's box opened up on Alignable, and the collaboration and partnership just really, really, really starting to surface. Yesterday, I was on a Smart Connect with Latoya Germain.
That was the name.
See, look.
I'm bad with names. That was the name with Canva. Go ahead. Sorry.
And someone said,
Yeah,
well, I have 70 different connections. And I was like, oh, that's good. That's a good start. She goes, how do I stay in touch with all of them? I said, you don't. I said, those relationships that you are supposed to have will naturally just rise to the top. So, stay active, be consistent about being on the platform, and be genuine and be willing to make fun of yourself and be willing to be vulnerable, because that's when you're going to start really meeting the people that you need to connect with and the people that need to connect with you. It's not always about you. A lot of times it's about them. And I'm going to tell one other quick story.
Great.
So my nephew passed away during the course of Alignable, and many, 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 many people on Alignable know about it. And when I feel it, when I was sitting in here and I was just going to pieces, I would get on Alignable and there was always somebody there picking me up, and picking me up and just helping me to get through that pain. It was the most incredible thing I had ever experienced. So for me, Alignable is not about business. Alignable is about relationship.
Ooh, I love
Wow.
that so much. So true. Arba, what do you have to continue on with that?
Oh, it's a perfect continuation because I distinctly remember how Char and I met. We had both, excuse me, we were both on a group, and I had just read something or talked to Char. I can't remember something Char had just won. It was either she was talking about a business that a client you had won, something on Alignable. I don't know what it was, and I was just rooting for her, and I was just like, yay, and I'm like throwing up stars and whatever I was doing. And then she recognized that. And she has said, you were the only one that really congratulated me for what I won. I was like, yeah, I wasn't paying attention to what nobody else was doing. I was just happy, I was happy for her. And then when we had our one-to-one, you would have swore we knew each other for years. I mean, we just started just talking, about different things and finding out that we have very, very similar backgrounds. She talks about how she does the print. I started with print. So back in the 90s, I was doing print work. So we talked about print and branding and how much she's still trying to help me with my brand. And I'm like, there's no help for me with branding. I am my brand, kind of thing. And then it was just like, we need to work together. I just get excited because, like I said, I have been a leader of many groups, and to be able to blend technology with people was just ideal. This was just the ideal atmosphere for me, and I'm taking advantage of everything there is. And anyone that has ever been in any group with me or anything, that's where it comes from. I'm excited that this is a playground that I can really make a difference and really use what I feel is my God-given skills and meet other people.
Yeah, Alignable was a personal sandbox.
So, okay, let's keep going with this. I know that you guys are pretty extroverted. Okay, I'm an
Who,
introvert.
me?
No, not at all. And I've hung out with Char before in person. So, but okay. I talk to a lot of brand new members. Like I do, I'm on Alignable Alliance every week. I'm always around brand spanking new members, and a lot of people consider themselves introverts. In fact, I do a whole training on networking for introverts. What are your tips for introverts that might be listening and watching right now that aren't as, extroverted as you are? How do they start building relationships and reaching out to people like you? Like, what would be your tips for them? Either one of you. Arba, go ahead.
I would say, now here's the funny thing. My degree is electrical engineering. Okay.
My
Yeah.
goodness.
So a lot of people believe that engineers are introverted. So I'm here to dispel that myth. That when, just like my husband, he is a handyman. And if we were just trying to have a conversation, if I'm trying to talk about technical or whatever, no conversation, right? But he is a Buffalo Bills fan, and I'm going somewhere with this. Let me say something about football. We'll be an hour into that conversation, and he's just going, and he truly is, an introvert. So what I say to introverts, find a group that you are comfortable with, that you can align with. If you're technical, find a technical group. My God, there are so many groups for everyone. There's a chat group, an AI group, the video group. When you find a group of people like the Smart Connect that I did today, the only downfall was I wasn't able to get in on the conversation. But when they came back, They were so happy because these were all creatives and technical people, and they were all talking creativity and technical. So what I say to introverts, stop trying to fit your square peg in a round hole, or whichever. Fine. That's why Char and I, we collaborate so
The
well.
yin and the yang. Yeah.
Yeah, because we're both technical, we both are creative, and so that's where our energy comes from. So find a group that you really relate to. Stop trying to jump into every smart connect there is, because you're not going to connect if it's not your tribe, as they say.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So talk about Shar, how one would act in a smart connect. What's the best way to use smart connects for either extroverts or introverts on when you're in that room? I get a lot of people saying, I don't know what to say, or I don't know how to use it.
I wish you could let everybody, and I'm not telling you to do it, turn the gallery on and everybody tell me what's out there. If you know when I go like this, what's out there? It's my garden. I talk about it all the time, right? People know that Char has a garden. So when I get on my Smart Connects, I talk about my garden. I talk about my saw and my drill and how I take pallets apart and how I like building pallets. And yes, I do them with my blue nail.
Oh my gosh.
And I have a hole digger and I just go for it. I just love my yard. And so, and then, to that point, I do the Need for Speed networking. It's my in-person event that I do once a month for as an ambassador here in Atlanta. Most people at that networking event, they don't even know what I do for a living. They don't know, they may know the name of my business, but they don't really know what I do. So what I do is I go in there and I just talk about stuff. I believe the power of the universe, the law of attraction, that whatever God has for you is for you. Whatever you're supposed to get is going to come to you. So if you're just yourself, people don't do business with businesses. People do business with people, right? Be yourself, be your true, authentic self, and show that you care. When you show how much you care, that's when people go ahead and connect with you. And so, again, I mean, for me, Alignable, yeah, the money's been good for the accounts that I've gotten. I have gotten accounts. I am growing on Alignable. I'm still not at the place where I can say, X number of my business comes from Alignable, because majority of my business comes from face-to-face connection. What came for me from Alignable is healing and people connection. And so as a solopreneur, hey, we're all working virtually, right? We're all sitting in some obscure office or room by ourselves all day long. When I can reach out and I know that, hey, I can touch an Arba, and I know Pam is on here, and Bakari is on here. I can't see who else that Ashley is on here, part of my immediate circle. When I know that I can reach out and touch all of these people and can connect with them, whether I need help technically or creatively or just emotionally, I think to me, that's the biggest thing about Alignable. It is a people platform. You go ahead and find people that you know, like, and trust. And then from there, you can go ahead and make everything else work.
Right.
Love it. Chuck, I know we have some more questions we want to make sure we get to. So what's another one?
We do another one and I really like all this extrovert talk because I'm one of the few extroverts at Alignable.
Okay.
Well, you got two more.
I'm always excited. I'm like, where's the party, guys? What are we doing? What's our after party here? Anyway, tell me though, what are some of the things that maybe the daily rituals that you'll do on Alignable, right? Do you make sure you spend 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes in the afternoon? Or what are some of those structured activities that people could emulate?
I'll start. Well, for me, my business is totally online. As a digital technologist, whether I'm doing websites or social media posts, videos, where I'm always in front of my computer. So my office setup, I have this laptop that's in front of me because it has an awesome video, an awesome camera. So I do all of my virtual networking with this. Then I have 3 monitors. Anyone who's ever attended my training, they know about it, because I'm looking up like this, I'm looking over. I've got these 3 monitors with my displays. So my day, how much time I spend on Alignable, if I'm in front of the computer, if I see that little thing pop up that there's a notification, I'm on it. Unless I'm in a meeting. So literally for me, it's if I see, whether it be a Alignable, and I'm not going to mention the other platforms or whatever, but, I'm on all of them. And if I see a notification, I respond. I respond because I let people know I'm here, I'm alive, I'm active, what you need, what you got. So that's how often I'm on it. I'm responding, unless I'm like really into something, or my husband cooked dinner and I got to go eat.
And I'm gonna put her business out there. He could do the cooking. She don't do it. And I'm like,
I used to be on some calls and I would get talked about because all of a sudden they would see a hand come in like this with a plate.
That's too funny. What about you, Char? What's your daily habits? Like, what are do you have a procedure for Alignable?
Yeah, so my secret for Alignable is in-person events. I'm the in-person gal. So, we do the monthly networking, and then I've also created another networking nuance or opportunity as an ambassador. So when I first started doing my speed networking once a month, people were like, well, how can we get this to our location? And I was like, that's a very interesting thought. And so, the Alignable formula is that I have to be the host in order to post it in my alliance. So I tell them, I said, okay, if I can be the host, you can be the sponsor. And so what will happen is, like a couple of weeks ago for Cinco de Mayo, Bakari's on here. We went out to Bakari's Pizza and we had Cinco de Mayo at Bakari's Pizza. So I was the event host, I was physically there. I made sure I checked in, but Bakari's Pizza was the sponsor. Now Bakari had 40 people from our local community came out to his business. And so I believe that in-person networking is really, 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 again, I'm more of an in-person connector than I am like our opposite of Arba. I'm more of an in-person connector than an online connector. And what I love about the in-person is that when you go to in-person event, you get a free online connection. So if you are on the free platform and you only have 5 connections, I tell you to go find as many in-person events that you can go to. And once you go and check in at that in-person event, then Alignable goes ahead and automatically connects you to everybody else that has attended. That's my main secret.
And I want to bounce off of that because you said something really good, Char, which is what I did. Is, like I said, I have a co-ambassador, and Carly mainly sets up the ongoing. We have an ongoing local networking event that's at the same place, but it's during the day. And so I said, there might be people at night that would like to network. They may work during the day. And one of the challenges of finding a place is to have the in-person networking is a place that will allow you to be there and maybe not have to pay for food or not have to pay for the location or whichever. So I was putting it out there to our Buffalo group that does anybody have a place, a location that we can have an in-person meeting? And I don't know if she's on this call, and forgive me, anybody that might be on here that I know, because Char's good with the name dropping and all that stuff. That's too much multitasking for me. But catering by Marjorie. So she actually has a kiosk in a mall. And so she reached out to me and said that they have a community room in the mall. And as long as, because she's a vendor in the mall, we could use the community room. So we did that. And it was awesome because, it was a huge community room. She, being a caterer, she, of course, wanted to display, her food. So she had soup and some cookies as a dessert. And it was an awesome in person. So that's the thing, is that if you have a location with some space, reach out to your local ambassador. We are in need of spaces, and you'll get extra exposure doing that. A
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
people want to sit back and let the
Ambassador do it.
do all the work. When's
No.
the next meeting?
And
When's the next meeting?
just to expand on that, I realized that a huge benefit of being an ambassador, for us to be an ambassador, Alignable said, go have in-person events because they want to re-stimulate the economy. I took Alignable to task on that. And so, there's a question in the chat. Larry said, did the pizza place pay for the pizza or just provide the meeting place? We are revitalizing our economy, revitalizing our community. We went ahead, and our goal is to be able to spend money at these restaurants. We're not asking them to give us everything for free, because then we're counterproductive to what Alignable has mandated. Alignable's mandate is to revitalize the economy. So, we're going to different places. And then I see another question from Robin. She says, in your in-person event, do you stay focused on the target market? Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about Atlanta. Atlanta has 285. It's a circle that goes around the city. Our alliance, the Greater Atlanta Alliance, is everything inside of 285 up to 5 to 10 miles outside of 285. Well, I came up with this crazy networking thing called the need for speed. With speed, what do? You do laps around it. So I don't just go to any one event. And Sue, I know you told me that this wasn't best practices, but it's been a good success story, right? I don't just go to one location. I go here, 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 and here. This afternoon at 6 o'clock, I'm having a meeting with my Need for Speed team and saying we need to find different locations because I don't want to always go to the same place. I went to one that was up in Alpharetta, for those that know Atlanta, and about 10 people walked in and they were doing their thing. And I looked up and I was the only person that looked like me in the room. I loved it. I loved it. Now, when I go down to the south side to College Park, it's a different story. There's only a few people in there that don't look like me, right? So we live in a very diversified metropolis, and the opportunity here, the growth here is that Sue, when you came down, we were in the heart of Atlanta, right? We were right there in the heart of Atlanta. So the point is that you don't have to cater to any one particular market. If you're like in the Dallas, Houston area and you have a large territory, you can choose to go ahead and do your in-person events at the same place over and over and over and over again. But by moving it around in the city, not only do you service your entire community, you are now attracting different people. I'm going to tell one other story, and then I'll stop.
Hold on 1 second, Char. Sorry, we're going to lose time here for a second, but I want to make sure in the chat, you guys, if you're interested in being an ambassador, there's a place to apply there. And I would say reach out to these guys if you're interested in being an ambassador. Yes. So.
And that's how you find your local ambassador too, by the way.
I put it in there. Just go ahead and search on Alignable, like put your state, the 2 letters of your state, and then put Alliance, and you can see if you can find one close to you. So, so you need to apply, and you need to there's certain things that you need to do. So I posted a link in there.
Look to see if there was another question in here about, is it possible for a newbie to start up a group for locals? Why? Look for somebody who already has a group, who's already doing that.
Team up.
Collaborate.
Hey, Arba, let's do it. We don't compete, we
complete.
Yes.
Yes.
There it
is. That's our tagline.
Yes, that's our look for someone who has a similar background as you, similar interests, like Carly. Carly is like, she does all of this crazy system AI stuff that way beyond what I do. And so that's why I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to support her. It's much easier for us to collaborate because we have the same interests. So if you have a passion, and I'm telling you, from being a group leader, not just Alignable, but on other groups and other things. When you're trying to be a solo leader, that's a lot of work if you're gonna do it the right way.
Yep.
And it's so much better to collaborate. So find someone else that is already, that they're already a group. How many groups are there already, Sue, and on
A
Alignable?
lot.
We don't need another group.
I'm just gonna make a quick piggyback on that. If you find somebody who's already doing a group or an alliance, you get recognition, because when you start posting and you start doing activities, people see your name. Once they see your name, then you start getting more traction and more recognition, which builds bigger connections.
Thank you,
Yes.
Char. That totally leads me into this question. Groups. So a lot of people who are new to Alignable, they think it's social media like everything else. That's what it's like. It looks like social media maybe when you first get on it, but it's not at all. So we all teach this, that you don't act the same way or post the same things or do the same things that you would do on a social media platform. So can you two give us some tips on all the groups on Alignable? There's a lot of groups on Alignable for different things. What is your best practices for groups? How many should you join? What types of things should you post or comment on in the groups? So let's start with, let's see, Arba. Go ahead.
Well, when I first started, I just went wild. I was like, "Ooh, there's an affinity to that. I like that. I like that. I like that." And then what happens is that you start getting notifications, okay? So of the different groups that you're in. And then if you really do not have the capacity to respond or to be active in the group, then there's no point of it. So what I would say is really look for groups that really do speak to either your personal interest or your business interest or whatever it is, and then be active. Come to the meetings, whether they be virtual or in person. Post some things. And when you're posting, it's not about buy my product, buy my service, look at me, look at that. No, content of value.
Yeah.
I get I posted something recently, and I got so much response to it. And the post was simply, should you use your logo or your photo for your profile?
Oh my God.
Wow. So that one got so much activity. So that's what you want to do. You want to post
That's an
something.
easy question.
It
Yes.
is an easy one, yes.
Yeah, well, it's an easy one if you know the answer, but believe me, there was a few that they still think Char could say something different. I put so much money into my logo and my brand. I want to promote my brand, but I'm gonna leave that alone. So that would be my recommendation, is again, find groups that either personal, business, whatever, that you align with, align with, and your purpose should be to make connections that can then build into business. Do not go in with saying, I'm going to get some business from this group. That's not the point.
Referral partners. How about you, Char? What are your
I'm
tips?
going to ask Arba to continue on. And Arba, can you tell them your formula of posting on social media?
Oh, wow. Posting my events or
on Alignable,
my
workshop.
Yes. I have actually, it's a workshop that I do in Char's group, and it's called social media,
generating leads
with social media. So I really make it really simple, and there's 7 days in the week, right? So Sunday I'll do like a quote or inspirational. Monday, if it's a holiday or something like Memorial Day, I did a Memorial Day, and there were people who are family of veterans, and they appreciated that and commented on that. And then Tuesday, I will do something educational. Wednesday, I totally reserve for commenting on other people's posts. Okay. Thursday, I do entertaining. Maybe I'll find something that's funny to talk about, or whichever. Friday, I do my tech term, and then Saturday I will comment. So I two days I take out commenting on other people's posts. It will get you way farther than just posting.
Mhm.
Yes.
Great.
And I agree with that. A lot of what I do is I don't necessarily, I spend so much time creating events, either in person or different workshops. I don't really post as much, but what I do is I look at other people's comments, and then I will, respond to their comments and engage with them. And that a lot of times, if you respond and you really look at the comments deeply, those are your customers. You just got to know how
Uh-oh.
that is someone ask a question that is within your wheelhouse, give them some information. Don't just try to sell them, but once you give them information and you build relationship, then they will naturally go ahead and move from the place of being just asking for the freebie, and really potentially give you opportunity to become their vendor.
And that's the key. I want to what Char just said, that if someone comments on your post, do not just say thank you. Try to you're trying to continue the conversation. Say, I like your viewpoint on that. I appreciate you taking time to read my post and comment it. So don't just say thank you. And on the other hand, if you're looking at someone else's post and all you do is just take the lazy like, that's what you should rename it, lazy like, and just like. That that's not engaging. You're not even trying to start a conversation. Do more than just like. Because I'll tell you, if somebody likes my post, and depending on how much time I have during the day, I might say, why did you like my post?
Oh, that's funny. I love it. Okay, Chuck, we have some more questions we want to make sure we asked. What were
Okay, so there's another one I want to ask. Why is it important to be premium? How did becoming premium help you?
Well,
Arba, you start. I'm sorry, Char, do you want to take that one?
yeah, if you're not premium, you can't become an ambassador. You can't become a group leader. That's number one. So in order for you to really make that investment, or really, I'm going to say it the other way, in order for Alignable to make that investment in you, then Alignable wants to see that you're making that investment in them. Not only that, I don't know, I don't remember now because it's been such a long time, but going from, the free plan where you only get a limited amount of connections, and then going to the premium plan. I know there are different levels now, but when you get to the $50 premium plan, you get a lot more connections, and you get the ability to become more solidified on the platform by becoming a group leader or an ambassador. I know that when people come to connect with me, maybe, but maybe I'm just keeping it 100. I look to see, are they a premium member? If they're trying to get on my calendar and they are just on here and they are not invested, I value my time. And so now what I do, and y'all don't shame me, I'll say, hey, join the Alliance if you're in Georgia. If not, hey, check out my group. And so that's what I look at when I get connection requests.
love it.
Excellent. That makes a lot of sense because ultimately, and I do hear this from a lot of premium members, they want to see that other people who are connecting with them are investing in their business. And again, it's not a lot. It's
Right.
$49 a month or $29 a
Right.
month. Again,
Right.
they're invested in their business, right? So, Arba,
Yes.
go ahead.
Yeah. Well, hey, what did they say? That part, that one. I've only been with Alignable since the end of 2022. And for those that are in marketing, you hear the term FOMO, fear of missing out. So when I got on Alignable, and then once I started kind of figuring stuff out, and then I started getting the messages, become premium, and I saw how little cost it was. And when you initially become a premium member, you get a discount at that. I was like, what? I'm not bam, so it was like the fear of missing out, that I didn't want to miss out on all the other perks. And so it was an easy decision for me, quite frankly, because it's like it should be part of your marketing budget.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Awesome.
And your write-offs. Right.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so there's a new member online. Well, actually, do you guys have any success stories, like specific ones about somebody besides each other that you met, or a customer that you got, that, like our friend and he's also an ambassador, Eric Bell, got
Right.
a client that he met in a Smart Connect. It ended up he's made over $600,000 with that one.
I wish it's
Keep
coming.
going. Keep going.
It's coming. It's coming.
I know.
But
anything.
I do want to share that how there are other people that are really working Alignable like I am. I'm really working it too. And so as a trainer, when someone, even in a Smart Connect, this is just in my nature. When I'm in a Smart Connect and I get that one-on-one, I'm always going to ask that person, is this your first Smart Connect? And so if they do say, I said, oh, let me give you some tips. So I start giving them some tips and telling them some different things. And so then if somebody books a one-to-one with me, I just can't help it that I'm gonna, give tips or share something. So someone had asked me a question, and I said, well, let me show you. And I shared my screen, and the Alignable 360, came up, because that's the default now. You have to go back to the original one. And I said, okay, so say for instance, here's somebody that I know, and he's got all these matches. So what you do with Alignable 360 is you just click on the matches, and then another person comes up and see, so I'm not connected to this person, so I could look at his profile and I could see if he's a good match. So I was training somebody, right? And so no sooner I got off that one-to-one, I got a message from that person that I had just clicked on their profile, and they were like, hey, I see you clicked on my profile. Is there something I can help you with, some interest or whatever? Because that's how Alignable 360 works. So quickly that person got a message or could see that I clicked. So it ended up, I was trying to be nice at first. I said, I said, well, I actually was doing an example and clicked on yours. And so he was still, well, is there anything, I can help you with? And so as I was just being honest, I said, look, I just clicked on you from someone else. He still booked. I said, but if you want to have a one-to-one, because I'm open, I'm optimistic. We had a one-to-one, and we are now considering collaborating. Yes, because he's a coach, and I work really well with coaches because I do the technical part of it,
Right.
and and they do the strategy and all that stuff. So how it ended up that I was just like showing an example and followed through, and we may collaborate.
Isn't that amazing? Like, it's like those Smart Connects, and that it's just magic. You never know who you're going to get matched up with. You never know anywhere, like what just happened to you. You clicked on them, they reached out to you. And that's the power, I think, with the two of you are so good at this. And maybe you have some more tips, but the people, it's staying in touch with the people that you're connected with. So Alignable 360, for example, you can go to your My Network, and you can look, and on the connections part, you can sort them by the last time you messaged someone. And if you see that you haven't messaged someone for 6 months, maybe you should reach out to them, right?
Right.
And
or
then,
if it says you're a good match, like that's what it said. That's how me and this guy ended up. Because it came up as he was a good an ideal match for me, and I wouldn't have otherwise considered. And
wow, that's amazing. And then the insights page too.
Yes.
Do you, either of you guys,
oh
Char,
gosh, yes.
are you using the insights page to see who's reached out to you?
And
Char,
how
I
do
do.
you use
I go. What's funny is that sometimes I'm talking to people that I'm in a relationship, and they're like, "Why did you click on my page?" I'm like, "Why did you click on my page?" And so,
oh my God.
and so, just being able to look at who is connected to you, and then seeing who they are connected to. So one of the people that I connected with early on is number 5 in the nation, Chuck, Steve.
Steve?
Yeah.
The
So
movie and
my
shaker.
alignable success story is that, or one of them is that Steve was doing websites, and he needed a new brand. And so I don't know if y'all really know Steve's new brand is called Locate Me Online. That was me.
All
So
right.
yeah,
I wondered where he got that. Good for you.
so came up with that idea and came up with the logo for him. Now, was it a monetized? Was it a $600 million? No, it wasn't. But what it was it was a solid relationship, right? Right now, I can go ahead and dial his number and he will answer. So we've built that kind of relationship, and we're here to support each other. So even though it's wonderful when you can monetize these relationships, it's all also very, very good when you know that you have very, very solid relationships that you can fall back on. I know that, again, for me, Alignable is not only about the money, it's about the relationships. I have people that I know I can call at any given moment, and they will answer my phone call and truly support me. The other big success story for me was the Alignable Ambassador Kits. So I was on Alignable, I was an ambassador, I was in a meeting, and I just was listening very carefully. And Hannah talked about the fact that they were wanting to do ambassador kits for everyone. And so I just reached out and I said, Hannah, can we have a conversation? And when she told me some of her challenges, which were being able to get all of the products from one source instead of different sources, being able to get it distributed to over 200 different ambassadors, and being able to do some personalization and on demand, I was able to step up, raise my hand, and that is probably my biggest success story on Alignable, is that I manufactured and distribute all of the Alignable Ambassador Kits.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't know that, Chuck? You didn't know that was me?
I didn't know that. See, I'm
Oh,
learning a lot on these, right? Yeah, you
There
you
you
think, oh,
go.
I'm right in the center of the action, but I don't hear all of it. That's
Yeah.
good.
That's the power of showing up, right? It's
yes,
like,
I
Yeah,
was the
wow,
same
that's
match.
adorable.
I want to
That's
say
adorable.
a saying of a coach. I actually paid a coach, not that I met on Alignable, but this was prior to Alignable, that she teaches this: show up, be up,
Yeah.
follow up to blow up. That's her
ooh,
formula.
Nice.
I like
That's
that.
her
Put that
formula.
in the chat for everybody. I love that one.
Hold on
Yeah.
a sec. Let's hear that one again. I'm writing it down.
Put it in
Show up,
Yep.
be up,
Yes.
follow up to
Yeah.
blow up.
I love it.
And what I learned that from her, which means that just show up. Sometimes you may not even feel like you registered. Oh my, what is this thing with 100 people registering for an event and only 50 show up? I don't understand it. If you
Well,
registered,
they better show up and follow up and blow up then, right?
right. So that's what it means, is that when you register for an event, I know life happens or whatever happens, but it shouldn't just be that you don't feel like it. But sometimes just showing up when you don't feel like it, you don't know who you may connect with. So that's the show up. Be up means turn your camera on, sit up straight, be ready, put a smile on your face,
Have a coffee. Go. Little
engage.
sugar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
engage. That's the be up. Follow up is when you get off of that call, whatever it is, make that connection. Make that connection. Try to book a one-to-one. That's the
Yep.
follow up. And the blow up, I don't even need to explain that one. And I know. So that's my thing. My success story is I don't have to do all the other work I was doing. I was doing way too much. I just do it all on Alignable. And that's where all my business comes from.
That is incredible.
I
And
love it.
again, being up, that's a big thing.
Yes.
I mean, I have a whole other group where I'm like, guys, we're here to uplift each other.
Yeah.
That regardless of what else we're doing,
Right.
people are making deals, all sorts, but you
Love
need
it.
to be uplifted. That's a big deal. Even if you're not in the best mood, it's like you can
That's
be in
me
the
and
mood for
Char.
an hour, kick it up there.
Yeah,
You-
Arba
Yeah.
always tells everybody that comes to our workshops, and this is a nugget for everybody, a newbie, a seasoned veteran. When you get on a networking, whenever you get into any kind of alignable event, it's an opportunity to network. Again, it's not an opportunity to sell. It's an opportunity for people to connect with you, because people don't, I said it before, people don't do business with other companies. They do business with other people. So be a people person, go ahead, and don't put all your dirty laundry out there. I did, Rob DeLeon, he was one of my first people that I got on Alignable with after my nephew died, and I cried the whole meeting. So I went there, but again, it was my place of healing, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful place
He's
to
a
be,
great guy.
and wonderful
He's a great
connection.
person.
Yeah. So, just when you meet people, cherish the relationship and be ready to watch it grow.
I love it. And we only have 2 minutes left, so I'm going to thank everybody for being here, and thank you two so much. What a fun, uplifting,
Wow.
exciting,
We're buzzing. The whole
I'm ready
place
to
is
go.
buzzing.
I know. I woke up today. I'm in Oceanside, California, which is great, but it's kind of a dreary day. So I've been kind of blah. It's a blah when the clouds and the sun's not out.
Yeah, I'm in
You
Buffalo.
guys
I
just
know.
brought the sun. You brought the sun. Love it. So thank you. And those of you, I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that. Thank you, Arba, for coming to the mastermind every Friday. She is there almost every single Friday and offers so much value. Again, she shows up. Oh, there's Chuck with his kitty cat again. We always one of these, everybody had a cat except for me. My kitty died. But
They've got a lot of cats and they need a lot of attention.
I got a squeegee thing.
I'm an all dog person, so I almost want to sneeze, Chuck.
Oh, this is funny. You're gonna love this, Char. So I'm going to an Alliance event next week at a cat cafe.
Oh, wow.
I know. That's going to be exciting. All right, we got to end this. Thank you all so much. I did post in the chat some important links. If you guys want to save the chat, there is a bunch of links there for the mastermind.
Canva training. Canva, for anybody trying to learn how to do videos on Canva.
There you go.
Just look it up.
I think
I'm
I
not
need
putting
to
in the
go
link.
to that one. That's
So,
great.
yeah, so here's what you do. Everybody go back to where you registered for this event, connect with these two amazing people here, and set up some time to meet with them, go to their groups, connect. And
if you don't have any connection credits, just comment on my post, because you comment on any of my posts, if I see I'm not connected, I got connection credits.
Oh, I love it.
We'll definitely do that.
Fantastic.
Thanks, you guys, so much. Love you all so much. Thank you. This will be posted in our YouTube channel where you can binge watch all the episodes, and I'll get that on there later today. So
love you, Char.
Bye. Hey, Arba, just one last time. We don't compete.
We complete.
And you do.
Awesome. See you guys.
All right. Have a great one, everybody. Bye-bye.